Hey guys, Dave Maxey with HomeMusicStudio1.com, and today I want to tell you about the #1 home recording tool. But before I do that, I want to tell you a short story. Today I'm 36 years old. My wife and I have been married now going on 13 years. We've got 5 children together. If you've followed me at any amount of time on the blog, you know a little bit of this information. But I can think back to right about 15 years ago, 15 years ago. At the time, I was not married. I was dating my wife, and I remember working in a cabinet industry, working in a factory. And I remember sitting on the assembly line, and of course we had these air ratchets and doing the same thing over and over, push a cabinet on down the line, zip, 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 push it on down the line, day in and day out, getting up at the butt crack of dawn and working until probably 3 or 4 in the afternoon, having been up till, at 4, 5 o'clock in the morning. And I remember at that time in that season, I had just I had about 3 or 4 songs that I was writing. And I was playing with a band. I was leading a band. We were playing out, doing some local shows, had all, regular rehearsals. And it was really kind of an exciting time. And I remember that I had been able to gather some gear together. I had a Fostech 4-track recorder that would record 4 tracks at once. You could bump them over to the backside of the tape and then add another 4 to that bad boy for a total to be able to mix of 8 tracks. And it was just awesome, okay? It was revolutionary for the time, but I had access to that. I had access to some really good friends who designed a studio space inside of a barn, and a lot of times we rehearsed there as a band. And I had some mics together, some guitar amps. My musicians that were playing with me, drummer had a full drum kit. I had all the pieces together, and here's on this day that I was working, I had already planned it as I went into work that morning that this evening I was going to get the band together and we were going to record our first demo. Okay, we were going to cut the whole thing. We were going to head on over to the barn studio space and set the gear up and just cut a demo, and it was going to be awesome. Well, fast forwarding as the day continues, I remember being there in the evening. We got everyone together. Of course, with your drummer, it takes forever to get the drum set up and setting the, my guitar player at that time was working with a half stack, and I had a dual 12, and as far as guitar amp, and trying to get everything tuned up and set up, and got the mics all in position and ready to begin to lay down the drum track with the bass player, and we began to try and record. And I realized very, very quickly one amazing thing. I had no idea what I was doing. Okay, maybe you've been there. I was. And I thought to myself, my goodness, this just doesn't sound good. I was getting a lot of bleed through from the drum kit in virtually every mic in the whole room. Vocals weren't coming out good as a result of it. Kick drum didn't sound great at all. We had a mic on it. It just didn't sound good. It didn't matter how we tried to cut the bass. I was getting clipping, and everything was just too loud, and it just did not sound good at all. And I realized in that moment, the greatest tool for home recording. And that greatest tool is knowledge, something that I didn't have. How in the world? I had some equipment. I had some basic things to work with, okay? I had a recorder. I had a space. I had some microphones, and I had some things to capture what it was we were going to record, and I had a source. I had, a band, okay? I had written some songs. We had something we were going to record, but what I didn't have is the know-how to put it all together and make a successful project. Okay, now why do I tell you that story? Again, because the #1 tool in home recording is knowledge. And if you're like me, knowledge has been really one of the things that without it, it's the worst problem in the world. With it, you can take equipment that maybe is not tens of thousands of dollars and get great recordings. That's what I've found. Now today, I've come a long ways. Again, 15 years later, today I've done conferences. I do a lot of consulting with audio, both live sound and recording, as well as the whole technical arena with larger teams of people. I do conferences. I've been able to do several conferences where I've taught technical aspects of both recording and live sound and video and audio, and been able to work with music teams as well. And I've come a long way since then, but the thing that has made all the difference in the world is the knowledge that I've been able to gain along the way from people who had been there, from people who had gone ahead before me, and were able to show me some of the things that I did not know. And you might think that the greatest piece of gear for the home recording studio would be that next plugin you're looking to get, or that next recording DAW software, that really cool mic that you just heard somewhere else. I'm here to tell you that all those things have their place, But without the proper knowledge to know the best way to use it, even what you have already will not sound like it could, will not sound as professional as it could. Now, I'm not suggesting that you can get amazing sound, or you can get the exact same sound from a $90 mic as you could a $10,000 mic, or there's things that we need to consider there. But what I am suggesting is that with the right knowledge and the right information, what you have can sound amazing. What you have can very much sound professional. And when you get to the point of where there are a few more things that you need to purchase, having the right knowledge, having the tool of the proper knowledge will also allow you to know what you should purchase. Where does your money go? See, at that time of my life, thinking back to many years ago, I had a little bit of money. I could spend $100 every now and again. Okay, I could buy a new mic every now and again and upgrade my, guitar and certain things every now and again. I just didn't have thousands of dollars to blow. But when I had $100 to spend, it really mattered where I was going to spend that money. I wanted to maximize where that money was going to go. Now, why do I tell you all these things? Because I'm getting ready to launch a brand new aspect of Home Music Studio One. I've been getting a lot of feedback from you guys recently. Thank you for giving me that, for filling out the survey that I've sent out, for just giving me comments. And many of you have been messaging me through email and through the blog. And I'm getting ready to launch an exclusive membership portion of Home Music Studio One. And we're going to be doing this, going to begin rolling this out. September 6th is going to be the very first rollout of the first phase of this. And we're going to have a portion of the site called Backstage. And here's what Backstage is all about. If you are the guy that now, maybe you've got some general gear together, or you've got a small budget to buy some things, but really what you need to know, you're that guy, that gal, you need to know how to put it all together. How does it all work together? You've got some ideas like I did many years ago. You've got a project that you want to put together, got some songs you're ready to go, or maybe you're helping someone else, but now how does it all fit together? This is what Backstage is for. If you want coaching from me, as well as even peers that maybe have used some different gear that you haven't used before, if you're a person that you want a technical review of maybe what you've already done to this point, or even along the way, Backstage Access is something that is going to be for you. Product reviews, again, from different people, from myself, from different people in the industry that have used different pieces of equipment. So when you do get to the place where you can spend a little bit of money, you buy the right thing. If you are the type of person that you're after the answers to some very specific questions that you have, not just some general things. We cover a lot of great information, but maybe you've got some specific things that are just very specific to your environment, your space, your gear, your sound that you're trying to capture, and some things are just not working right. You need specific answers to those questions. Backstage Access is for you. Again, I'm going to be rolling this out. The very first phase of this is going to happen on September 6th, so please be looking for that. And the other thing that we're going to be also rolling out in September is many of you have asked, we want more, Dave. We want some specific training in some very specific areas. And so I'm working very hard to put together also some tutorial products that are very specific, going to be covering things like compression and application of compression, exactly how to use compression, the general process of mixing, what process I follow when I start a song to the end of a song. I'm going to be I'm in the process of finalizing some of the training tutorials that have to do with from start to finish of an entire song and what that looks like, and mixing that. And another very popular one that you keep asking for is home studio mastering. Okay, there's definitely a process of mastering that is out there that maybe costs a little more money, that's out of your budget. Hey, it'd be great if you could afford it, but is there something I could do to master my own projects and save a little money and still get a great result? So those three things, the recording process of just kind of the how-tos of from A to B mixing and post-editing, compression, and also mastering. We'll be also rolling out some training products that are in those areas as well. So please be be looking for that. With that, guys, again, the number one home recording tool is knowledge. And so be looking for your access to the Backstage access. And I love to hear your feedback. I really do. That really helps me continue to provide you with great content. And so you can add your comments to the bottom of this video, to the bottom of this post. And you can also just send in your comments via email through the blog. Check us out if you already haven't, homemusicstudio1.com. And if you're not on the newsletter, I want to invite you to do that right now. You can head on over to homemusicstudio1.com/newsletter, and you can sign right up to that newsletter. In exchange for doing that, I have a free book that's been very popular, a free ebook that I'll send you a download link to called Understanding Compression in the Home Music Studio. And that's kind of an entry understanding of what audio compression is about. That's just my thanks for signing up to the newsletter. But once you get on the newsletter, that'll give you access to the updated information of what's going on. And so the Backstage information as it rolls out, you'll be able to be on the forefront of getting that right at the very beginning and getting the opportunity to be a part of that. And so again, September 6th, going to be unveiling the very first parts of Backstage access to Home Music Studio One. And then throughout the month of September, I'm going to be releasing a little bit at a time some of the training products that are also going to be as well. And we're going to continue to provide as much great free information on homemusicstudio1.com as we have been, and we'll continue that up as well. We're just going to add some things to that. And so with that, hey, thanks for watching this video. Love to hear your feedback. This is Dave Maxey with homemusicstudio1.com.